Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, it's deadline day here at Crystal Palace, and those of you that were here with me in the summer window will probably know why I'm petrified today. This time, though, it might be a goalkeeper coming in that's the star of the show. We'll see what Dougie's got in store for us before Manchester United are our FA Cup visitors. We're all but assured a top 12 finish in the Premier League, and the battle for Europe, with Guy Vagnin leading it, may well still be on. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 88 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. And although there's only 4 points separating us and 12th, there is a big gap below it, and safety plus the 40-point mark is already assured. We have equalled our best ever finish for this football club in terms of points, and we've still got 12 games to go. And if we can keep the form up that we're showing at the minute, it may well be that we're best of the rest after the top 6. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can hold them off, and whether Dougie can give us the tools to improve today, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let's go and start by having a look at the transfer window as it stands. Because at the moment, there is potentially a goalkeeper coming in. That midfielder who we had the offer for in the last episode, still no news on him. It's been about 3 weeks, which is weird. Yankuto has agreed to leave. Amine Keita might be going on loan. Grombach will be leaving at the end of the season. And Charlie Setford may well be coming in. Now, if he does, I'm going to say something now. I will not make him first choice immediately because we're doing so well. But at the moment, we have had a bit of a knock to our confidence. We applied for one big job that came up. We applied to replace Pep at Gladbach after he got sacked. We were pushed away within a day. They said, no, you're not getting shortlisted. So back to the drawing board for us. None of the other big ones up or even seemingly close at the minute. So we're going to have to be patient on that front. In terms of current ins and outs, though, there's not really a lot going on. 2 youngsters have joined the club this month. John Molinar is the best, but apart from being a model citizen, he offers very little else. And in terms of outs, I know there's one big name on there, and that is Florin Mitran, who's gone to Stade de Rennes on loan, but was now third choice left winger, wasn't he? We've got Spasov starting to improve. Jimmy Campbell has been a star this season, and although Mitran can play centre mid, he wasn't really playing well on the odd occasion he got in there. But for now, it is transfer deadline day. Apparently, Rodrigo Ribeiro is linked with a move back to Portugal. We're being linked with Leicester's William Pacho, which I guess we've got to watch because last window with Tyrick Mitchell, that was actually a correct suggestion. So if we get that guy in, I probably won't complain. He's a decent centre-half, albeit a bit older than what we're looking for. There's not a huge amount of news elsewhere with a quiet day expected. So it is just the 2 that are already being negotiated and Pacho probably coming in. And then looking at the outs, Keita we know about, but Ribeiro and Castro would be massive losses. We cannot afford to lose Luigi Castro and not to a side in relegation trouble. So let's go and get through and take part in the day. Another youngster may be leaving to FC Groningen. There's 15 hours to go. It's been a great season so far, but Dougie could ruin it in one terrible day. Well, 4 hours in, it's lunchtime, and we've got our first problem of the day because Dougie Freedman has accepted an offer for Jürgen Clemenson. He's currently our deputy right back, so you might say it's not an immediate problem, but with Couto going in the summer as well, with Grombach moving on, and with a lot of older players in that defence, we don't really want to be losing the younger ones. I know Malaki's out on loan, we'll probably get him back in the summer. 14 million quid, it is a profit from what we signed him for, and I guess for a non-first choice player that's great, but we're not getting the replacements, which is the issue. So Clemenson probably going to be off in a minute. The rest of the morning has just been offers for youngsters that are half getting accepted, half rejected, and a few more loan bids for Keita. Well, 13 inbox messages is not normally a good sign, but it is mixed news when it comes to the ins. Leandro Barreiro has rejected us for rivals Brighton. I can see why. They've offered him an extra 25-30 grand a week, but not the first January deadline date. We've lost out on a player to our rivals. Keita at the same time has left in centre midfield. He goes on loan to Espanyol, but crucially, we've got another senior goalkeeper. Charlie Setford is in, 8 million quid, 2 more when he plays 20 games for the club. He's not going to be first choice for me immediately, but he is going to be my first choice next season. But I don't want to change a team that's doing really well. So Setford comes in. He is a big step up. He might even be better than Jankovic was, in fairness, but doesn't make up for the half year we didn't have a keeper. So Setford is registered in the squad, homegrown in the nation, helps with Premier League registration rules, and might help with Europe should we get there next year. Promise I'm not getting ahead of myself. He's a really good keeper. Great kicking, great one-on-ones, anticipation, mentally he's very good. The only thing he's not really got is the natural handling and reflexes, and he's only 6 foot exactly. It's not a disaster, is it? He's a very good keeper. Rangers have signed Aaron Hickey, and apparently we're getting a sell-on fee from that, so he must have played for this club at some point. He's not great at 30 in fairness. And an offer has gone in for 2 players. First is Linton, who is a 19-year-old from Celtic with 1-star ability. Not really one who's going to cause any shockwaves at the club. Hardly going to be getting fans rushing to get his name on the back of the shirt. Whereas a loan deal for Octay, who is a right winger from Ajax on loan, might be a little different. 3-star ability, 3.5 potential. I guess a natural backup on the right with Grombach declining and a player who actually plays in that position naturally. It's not really a needed signing. It's not going to be a first team signing. He's played for Everton in the Premier League. He's playing for Ajax now. And he's all right. Very good physically. So we'll see if that one gets done. Not the priority position. With 11 hours to go, as things starting to happen. Well, apparently things are not starting to happen on deadline day because Octay is not willing to discuss terms. He's only just joined his new club. Can't be true because he's played 25 games for them. No, he's been there a season and a half. I think he joined permanently in the summer after a loan. But we're not going to lose any sleep over it. 10 hours, Dougie. Prioritise defence and get us good players over the line. Well, instead, the next move is the player out we expected for Jürgen Clemenson, who's gone to Werder Bremen. It's got a sell-on fee with it as well, but Feyenoord are getting a bit too here. So they're going to be guaranteed 1.8 million. But for the club here, it's still a big profit. It's just whether we replace these players. Well, we have got another addition to the squad, but it's not one we're ever going to see again. So hello, Thomas Linton. We'll never hear from you again. There is an offer gone in for Smith, which I can see has been rejected further up. He is a 3-star right and centre half. Oh, it's Kerr Smith. We had him in our Twitch save with Derby last year. Link to Twitch in the eye above. There's a chance for a plug. Thank you, Kerr Smith, but you've rejected us. I'm not very happy about that. Would have been a good addition as well. He's massive. He's great in the air. Unfortunately, it's not to be. There is an offer from Bayern for Castro. It must have been rejected because he's asking to discuss his future now. The offer was, oh, that's pathetic, Bayern. You can do better than that. We're going to talk to him, I think, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to have much influence here. What sort of wages are you talking about here? I want the 63 grand mark. Right. I understand, and you can expect negotiations to start shortly. The job now, and it's a bit weird in FM23 with the agent because you get a warning if you get the director of football to do it. So you have to discuss the contract with the agent. So you say, yep, that's lovely. Thank you very much. But then you can say to the director of football, there you go and do it. But if you do it before that, you get a big warning about it. Kerr Smith's bid was rejected. Hopefully they go in again. There is the risk of leaving it to a director of football. I'm going to say, I'm not going to be held to ransom by a player. You're not getting a new contract or a transfer. Now get on with it. Yep, that'll do. He's a professional, so he'll leave it here. But Dougie Freedman has made things hard behind the scenes. Well, another offer in an hour later, this time for a youngster in defence, but a slightly better one than we used to. $500,000 for David Hunt, who is a 2-star player with 3-star potential. Oh, he's less than 6 foot. He's not great in the air. Could be retrained as a fullback potentially, but he's okay. Arsenal have accepted multiple offers, so that might be tricky for us. Jürgen Clemenson has upset the fans by leaving. I didn't want him to leave, but we needed the money. I think that's the best way of doing it. There is another offer for Castro, and there is no message about being unhappy after, which is leading me to think one thing. Please do not let it be my worst fears. There it is. It's 30 million quid for Luigi Castro. It's not a good offer. I don't know why he's taken it. We are about to lose our ball-winning midfielder. This is going to be catastrophic. David Hunt is in. You fancy being a ball-winning midfielder, mate? Because you're not tall enough to be a centre-half. Oh, this is awful. Right, what can we do in there? We've got no other option. Big problems afoot here at Crystal Palace. There are 7 hours for a replacement. Luigi Castro is on his bike, and it's another top young player sold. Deadline day is always a disaster with Dougie Freedman. There he goes. Again, Dougie makes a profit for the club. Great that he's doing his job as a club man, but what on earth are we going to do? Yes, I certainly want more options, and I need a centre mid now. You've got to get me a player as good as one of the best at the club. We have got 7 hours to save ourselves. There is an offer with 5 hours to go. It is for Eric Nelson from Motherwell. He is a wonder kid. What position does he play? And is he any good? He's a defender who can play anywhere across the back four and hold in midfield. It's been accepted. 3-star ability, 5-star potential, 4 million quid rising to 6. That ain't bad. But what is he like? We've got Luigi Castro going. We are going to have a real moan about that. What can we say? I'm a little disappointed how it's done because we've no intention of selling him. But Nelson, are you going to make up for it this deadline day? 85 million release clause, but it doesn't matter because Dougie's selling them all for less. What are you like? Are you pretty good? But you cannot jump. You're a right back. So basically, he's a replacement for Clementson, isn't he? That's not a bad deal. He's already a Scottish international. First choice, playing senior football. Got 100 games under his belt. It's a good deal. But it's not enough. We need to replace Castro, and there's only 5 hours left to do it. Well, it's not the one we needed as such, but it is a very good signing. Eric Nelson in for Clementson makes that deal make sense for about a third of the price, and with bigger potential, Eric Nelson is now a Palace player. Can't wait to see him get started here. He'll be on the bench, he'll be involved, he'll make appearances, but Castro's gone and we've got no midfielder. And until that changes, I'm going to keep saying the same thing. We're in trouble. Well, there's 3 hours remaining. An offer has gone in for a player called Ward, and they need to be a ball-winning centre midfielder of Premier League level. We've got Williams going out on loan potentially. He's in the under-21 team. He's 24 now. He's not a Premier League player. Let's have a look at Ward, though. Right. 21-year-old who plays at Hibernian at the minute. 16 million quid. 3-star ability. 4.5 potential. Can play centre-back, centre-mid and centre-forward. Well, he might be forced into the middle one regardless here. He is natural at centre-mid and centre-half. I'll give him that. He is probably better at centre-half, but he's only 5'10", and he is a natural ball-winning midfielder. He isn't the perfect answer. He's nowhere near as good as Castro, but he'll do the job, and he ticks the box. So let's go and see if that one gets done. They've offered him a contract on 37 grand a week. We'll wait and see if it gets over the line. It's not the same level again, but a bit like Montero in the summer. At least it's a good player. Well, Williams has gone out on loan to Barnsley, but more importantly, Gordon Ward is now a Crystal Palace player. So probably not the replacements we were looking for, but Ward and Nelson in for Clementson and Castro is not terrible. Ward is rated 3.5-star ability, but that is as a centre-half. As a centre-mid, he's actually the same, so that's pretty good. Not as good as Castro, not as perfect for the role as him either, but still a very good pro. Well, 1 hour to go, and it looked like Dougie had a last-ditch move again, but it's not come off because Gonzalez, he accepted an offer for, in fact, Lil accepted the offer from him, but he's gone for Copenhagen. He was 2.5-star right winger. He wouldn't have added a great deal to our side. I'm not worried about that. Overall, we're not weaker than we were, but we still lost one of our best players. 1 hour to see if anything gets done. We had Mancon in deadline day in August. Didn't really add much to the club. Let's see what we get this time. Well, surprisingly, we might get something. 25-year-old Blackburn defender, 3-star ability, Owen Hurley. He's looking a centre-half and right-back. They're suggesting he's cover for Rodriguez. There's offers for one of our youngsters as well. I'm not caring what happens with him. But let's have a look at this guy. 9.25 million with a few add-ons. 26 grand a week as a squad player. What do you like? You're a centre-half naturally. Again, not 6 foot, which I don't really understand. I look at him, he can't tackle, he can't jump. I don't know how he's become a central defender in life, and he can't cross, so he's not a fullback. I tell you what, though, the proper backup for centre midfield in that ball-winning role. We've gone from having just Castro at the start of the day to having none halfway through the day, and now probably having 2 pretty good ones. So that would not be a bad deal. There's only 45 minutes left. Will it get over the line as we try and sign for the Championship again? Dougie, you might have just pulled this out the bag. Owen Hurley has agreed to join with 30 minutes to go. Good player, not as good as the other two, but homegrown in the nation, solid centre midfielder and emergency cover in defence. You know what? If it hadn't been for Castro, I'd be happy with this day. But overall, it's still not bad. 30 minutes to go, that must be it. No more players coming in. Well, there is the end of deadline day. And I guess if we're going to give Dougie Freedman some credit, he sold 2 players and bought in 4 for the same price, which I guess is what he's trying to do. They're all younger players. They're not players who are over the hill, albeit he tried on one occasion. And although he has still loaned out other players, so it's 4 or 5 senior ones going, we're not in any worse a position. We've just lost a superstar in Castro. We're not going to be able to replace that physicality in a midfield too. And it might end up harming us later down the line. I think he might have been vice-captain as well. If we have a look at the wage expenditure, ours is the 4th or 5th lowest now, in the Premier League. So we should be staying up, but we're still massively overachieving. Look at Bournemouth's, by the way. 5th in the division, just to show how much they are spending. We get loads of press stuff at the end of the day. It was a hectic one for us in the end. But now it's on to our FA Cup run. Manchester United at home, coming up at the weekend. FA Cup kickoff time. Let me show you what's happened in the last few games, because we are back in pretty decent form. You saw in the last episode we gave Bournemouth 2 very good games, and since then a couple of defeats followed by a couple of very good victories. So a 2-0 defeat at home to Liverpool. This guy always scores goals against us. He's brilliant. He got a hat-trick last year. He got 2 this year. He's just unplayable. West Ham were brilliant against us. We lost 4-2, but Guy Vaknin did get a couple more. A 5-0 win at home to Wolves was brilliant. 2 for Ribeiro and Vaknin. 1 for Spazov, the youngster, as well. And then a 3-1 win at Spurs. Rodrigo Ribeiro with 2. Brennan Johnson with Spurs goal. And Guy Vaknin, of course, with the opener. But he did miss a penalty in that one. We've now got an absolute horror month with United, Chelsea and United. And we start with the FA Cup at home to United. We've still got Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho. They've signed Ocon, who of course we discovered was a Crystal Palace Youth Academy star. We got big money in the summer when he was sold from Watford to United. And he is a proper Ballon d'Or contender. And that's on actual ability, not just form. Guehi's in their defence, but it's an ageing team for this game. So let's go and see who we can put out. We're going to need a new centre midfielder in today. And I think the goalkeeper who I would have played in this one is actually cup side. So we might see a debutant or 2, but it's not going to be as many as we'd hoped. Well, here is the team today. We've of course got the one enforced change, Ward in for Castro, who left the club. We've got Campbell back in on the left for Spazov, just to give them rotation. I thought about bringing Chris Lewis back in up front, but the other 2 have been brilliant, so I can't take them out. And Nelson is on the bench. He will probably come on for Rodriguez today, with Setford and Hurley both cup tied. So into the game we go with the following starting 11. It's Montero between the sticks, Rodriguez and Mitchell the fullbacks, with Rodolfo and Tapsoba a centre half, Campbell and Hames the wingers, with Ward the new signing alongside Rothwell in centre midfield. And then Ribeiro and Vaknin. Vaknin on 27 for the season. Ribeiro and Lewis have 13 each too. Let's hope they can keep that up today. We're going to drop to balance when we get into it because United are a good side. I'm not sure. There must be better squad numbers about. No, there's not. 25 and 26. Into the big game we go. Well, here is the United side with 5 changes today, mostly defensively, plus Ocon coming back in. They've got Badiashile on the bench, someone who always seems to score against us from a set piece. Trincao drops out as well, but it's a good side. And those 2 wingers are still Rashford and Sancho, the originals. So let's go and get through the dressing room. Tell them to carry on their last performance. They're inspired. They're going to drop to balanced. And we're going to try and nick a result. But generally this season, when we've played the top side, particularly at home, we have struggled. Well, back with almost half an hour gone, and it's been a really quiet game so far, which probably suited us. But now Rashford is in, back to Sancho, shot deflects onto the bar, Montero gathers it. He did not have a clue where that ball was going. It's a really important start for us that we stay in this game. Generally, you've seen it when we've won games, it's been high-scoring ones, we've had a goal threat, but we can't always do that. And Campbell finds Vaknin here, gives it away on halfway. And when we play balanced, the problem is we're a little bit deeper in the pitch. So Vaknin and Ribeiro, they don't get it in positions like this too often. But when they create for each other on the counter, you never know what can happen. Vaknin lost it on halfway. He went all the way to get it back in his own third. And he played a beautiful through ball to Ribeiro. And the 2 of them just can't stop scoring. Half an hour gone, it's 1-0 Palace. And again, we are playing above expectation. Ward has had a decent game in the middle so far. But I wouldn't say this game's won yet. It's going to be tricky work. Having said that, it's been a really good effort. And this season, I've got to say I'm so proud of these lads. It's fun to watch generally. We create chances, but we might concede here. Sancho in, good challenge Rothwell. Ribeiro gets away down the left, cuts inside. Can he return a favour for Vaknin? Beats to himself is a brilliant run. Across the box, it flashes past everyone. It is a stunning counter-attack. We look so good on the break, but it's still 1-0. It could have been 2. It could have been a real opportunity. But I'm not going to complain too much. At the break, we lead 1-0. Been a really good half. With that in mind, let's talk to the lads. Tell them to find another gear where we've got a little bit out of Rodolfo. The thing I'm worried about in this second half is fatigue, because a lot of players have got a heavy match load. A lot of people are working hard in this game. It looks like Ribeiro is the most tired of our options. But what a sub to have in your armoury in Chris Lewis. He is a really good young player. Loads of pace, loads of menace. He'll be a really good one. Spazov replaces Campbell on the left wing. I'm going to leave Rodriguez at right back for now. Goalkeeper's looking nervous. That's a worry. Tyrick Mitchell may be off. No, I'm going to leave it at 2. I like to give Nelson a little debut at the end, but look at some of the fatigue in midfield and at fullback, in fact, as Spazov puts the free kick in. Rothwell's headed over from 3 yards. You can't miss that. Oh, that was the moment. You cannot miss that opportunity. He's going to come off now, Rothwell. He'll be replaced by Gerardo. Just for a couple of minutes to freshen it up. Don't want someone getting sent off here. On the right wing, there's not really a sub, so I'll leave it for now. Mitchell off at left back for Kerim. We'll save the last one for stoppage time. Be either Pulido or Nelson. But United are on the front foot. We don't want them to equalise here. But there's Trincao into Ocon. Oh, he's done a favour against his former club there. He wanted to help us out as United are throwing everything at it. Big ball into the box. Lewis heads away. Rashford brings it down to Guehi. Back to Doyle. Rashford again. We know the threat's there. They've got it 30 yards out. Someone's going to shoot eventually. Beersmore goes right to Vitinha. So many men in the box. Beersmore again. Vitinha's cross headed by Rodriguez. Vaknin gets there first. Punts it downfield. Lewis is away. They had no one back. Chris Lewis one-on-one. Chris Lewis puts it away. And Guy Vaknin, he might not be in scoring form today. But 2 stupendous assists with long through balls. And that should be tie over. With that one done, on will come Eric Nelson for his debut. Rodriguez will get the 4 minutes of stoppage time off. And we, at the same time, will time waste all the time, lower that tempo very slightly and slow the pace down. What a performance in the FA Cup. It's been backs to the wall at times, but if you look at the stats, we've given as good as we've got. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester United 0. And you know what? For all of the failings here, if we could go on a big cup run to the final, it would be something else. We've beaten 2 of the top 7 in the Premier League already as Lewis gets the ball out to Spasov. On the left-hand side, United have got nothing back now. They've basically given up. Delivers the cross for Ward. On his debut, it's blocked. Hames' shot's blocked. Cleared away by United. What a game. What a performance. And despite having one of the most frustrating transfer windows yet again, I just love managing this club. Look at the diving header back to his keeper from Rodolfo. It's brilliant. They're coming of age. They're showing real spirit. And you know what? The players he signed, I'll give him one thing. They've got good personalities and they're showing it. As the ball's headed away, it should be full time. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester United 0. And after playing Bournemouth away and United at home, we are into the FA Cup 5th round. It is a stunning effort. We'll see who we're going to be facing. Surely the draws don't get much harder than that. Let's go and see who we're facing next. Well, it's probably easier than the last 2 rounds, but it's still not a great draw. We've got 13th place Premier League side Leeds United away from home in the 5th round. We're in 7th place in the European place in the league. And if we can stay in 7th, 8th or 9th, if the right teams win European competitions, and if that coefficient stays high for England, we might well sneak into Europe with Palace. Let me know what you thought of Dougie's work and the players coming in, particularly from Scottish football and the Championship. If you want to stay up to date with the season, find out how we get on in both competitions, and please do subscribe to stay up to date. If you haven't seen it yet, where have you been in this season's Build a Nation save? Go and find it up in the eye above. The latest season is up there now, and come back tomorrow for the next instalment of it. It is a cracker. In the meantime, you can find other playlists in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and of course the blog story too. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time to find out if we can edge closer.